the Toronto Raptors pull out a miracle win. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to me and to people who celebrate on January 7th. This game did feel like a Christmas miracle, honestly. This was incredible. If you told me before the game that the Toronto Raptors would lose Brandon Ingram to a thumb sprain and that Scotty Barnes would miss a sizable part of the second half with an injury going back to the locker room, and that the Raptors would shoot so poorly that they had 18 straight misses from three. And there was a point in this game where the Raptors were shooting 11% from three, and that the Raptors would somehow win on a incredible fourth quarter by RJ Barrett, first of all, and a game winner by Immanuel Quickley. I would have told you were writing fan fiction. I would have told you were insane. That's not what was going to happen in this game. I think that the Toronto Raptors played horrible basketball. I mean, it's just ugly basketball for the most part of this game. But holy crap, this was as individually heroic a performance by RJ Barrett as we have seen in a Raptors uniform. This was insane. In the fourth quarter, he just put on the cape, and he just said, okay, Scotty's out, BI's out, it's on me. Let's do it. I'm back at Montverde. And he took Con Kniffel to the woodshed. Now, I think a lot of people are going to take a look at this game and say, well, it's the Hornets. I'll remind you that the Hornets just beat the OKC Thunder by 27 points. 27 points, and they didn't have Ryan Kalkbrenner in that game either, but they did have Moussa Diabate, and I thought Moussa Diabate was awesome today. Awesome. Really, really good big, and they're a sneaky good team. They're a sneaky good team. I don't think they're a top 15 team in the league, but they're bordering right on that. And I say that it doesn't really matter who you beat. It doesn't matter who you play. It matters when you play them. And you are playing a team right now that was feeling very good about themselves. And you can't buy a three, which is frustrating. And you can't get a call. And you're fighting with the referees. And you're fighting a ruckus crowd in Charlotte. And you're fighting the referees. You're fighting fatigue. You're fighting yourself. And you're on the road. And man, you are fighting a tough game from Immanuel Quickley, who really did turn it around. So, Trae Young got traded. Say what? Did Trae Young just get traded? Are you telling me the truth here? He got traded to the Washington Wizards. Oh man. CJ and Corey Kispert. Well, I guess they were not bluffing. Wow. That's crazy. Well, if you caught my segment on the panel about Trae Young potentially coming to Toronto, you know that I am one very happy person that he is not on the Toronto Raptors right now. As much as Immanuel Quickley frustrates the living crap out of me, at least he is not that much of a pylon. Now, towards the end of this game, a lot of things happened that were very, very interesting for the Raptors side. And when LaMelo Ball blew past Immanuel Quickley for that layup, the only thing I can think of is this is a really dumb move by Charlotte. Leaving 1.6 seconds on the clock. We're going to take a look at the film breakdown. Call-in link is in the description. If you want to call in, you want to talk about Trae Young, you want to talk about Anthony Davis potentially coming to the Raptors, you want to talk about this game potentially, definitely feel free to call in. It's kind of funny that Trae Young gets traded in the middle of the Atlanta Hawks beating the New Orleans Pelicans. That's kind of funny. But nevertheless, from the Toronto Raptors perspective, this game marks 3 wins in a row. This win also marks probably the best game that I've seen from RJ Barrett this season. And it did not start out that way. He was 0 for 4 from 3 at the half. It was not going well for RJ Barrett. And for the second game in a row, he just turns it around in the fourth quarter and he just cooks. And again, it's like, this is not a recipe for success. This game does not look like the Raptors' typical win. Because you don't shoot well at all in this game. Take a look. You shoot 21% from three and 41% from the field and win a game. How? How? You get out rebounded and you still win the game. You got out rebounded by 8. You got crushed on the offensive glass, defensive glass. You had 18 assists tonight. 18 assists. This is a team that regularly gets over 30. How the hell did you win this game? This was absolutely, um, you can say the Hornets messed this up for sure. But the Raptors got into the paint, man. The Raptors got into the paint. They scored 60 points in the paint. And I think that's about it. They led for about 20% of this game. There were stretches, but for the vast majority of this game, they were playing from behind, and the Raptors just found a way. They found a way. In the first half, it was a lot of Scotty Barnes. 17 points for Scotty, 4 rebounds. When's the last time you've seen Scotty with 4 rebounds and 0 assists? That was a very weird game from Scotty Barnes. Colin Murray-Boyle's career high 15 rebounds tonight in 32 minutes. He was a monster on the glass, and once again putting up over 5 offensive rebounds. This is becoming a staple of what he does. The Raptors end up with 15 offensive rebounds. He ends up with 6 of them by himself, and he was very good. Sandro Mamukelashvili, again, fighting the referees all night, but I think he was a huge part of that Raptors run in the fourth quarter to get themselves back into this game. Ochai Agbaji, really bad game from him. I hated his first stint. The Raptors could not score when he got on the court. It was just awful. And I think, it's just with Ochai, if you're not going to provide much on offense, you have to be a lockdown defender defensively. And I don't think he was. I really don't think he was. I think he got outplayed by Leon James. And overall, Grady Dick's minutes were very limited and touches were very limited. 12 minutes off the bench. He was not the first guard off the bench. That was Jacoby Walter. He couldn't buy a shot either. He goes 1 for 4 from 3. This is back-to-back cold shooting games from Jacoby, so he's in a bit of a cold slump. The Raptors were searching for answers. They looked to Jamison Battle, couldn't get much from him. Eventually ended up descending onto the double point guard lineup of Jamal Shed and Immanuel Quickley. And it kind of worked. It kind of worked. The Raptors were just struggling for offense anywhere, like really just getting it anywhere. And yeah, like I think you're going to look at RJ Barrett, 28 points on 25 shot attempts, 5 attempts at the line, 1 for 7 from 3. And you're going to say this wasn't a great game from RJ Barrett. But if you're going to say this isn't a great game from RJ Barrett, I'm going to argue you didn't watch this game because he turned it on when it mattered the most. His shot making was very much needed for this team. I think his defense was okay. It was competitive, but overall, man, like you do not win this game if he doesn't do what he does. Like you're not even close. Like you're not getting into this game if he doesn't do what he does. So big game from RJ Barrett. And Immanuel Quickley, 8 for 18, 3 for 11 from 3. Couldn't buy a 3 earlier on. Hated his process for a lot of the game. If you look at our film breakdown, it's going to be a lot of negative Immanuel Quickley. And it's going to be kind of funny because I'm talking shit about Immanuel Quickley, and then eventually I'm going to have to glaze him for hitting that final shot. Shout outs to Darko Rajakovic for having trust in Immanuel Quickley for, designing a final play to get him the final shot. But honestly, it's the right idea. When Brandon Ingram is not in the game, it's almost like Darko goes to the right idea. If you're looking at the players on the court, I know you need a 3 or a 2 to tie at the end of this game. It was 96-94. And the right decision here would be to design a play for Immanuel Quickley getting open for 3. Scotty sets a monster screen to get IQ open. It's the right idea. You play the percentages. He's your best 3-point shooter on the court, and you should. You should design the play for him. The wrong move would be to design a step back 3 for Scotty or RJ because RJ's cooking or Scotty's your franchise player. No, like you don't have Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant on this team. So you have to go to the percentages. You have to design the right play. And that's sometimes my issue with Darko is, when you do have Brandon Ingram, it's just like everything's got to be for Brandon Ingram. It's got to be for Brandon Ingram. It's just like that makes it so predictable. I don't think the Hornets knew that this play was going to be designed for Immanuel Quickley, which is why Immanuel Quickley ended up being open. So that was very interesting. And overall, good stuff. Good stuff. From the Hornets side, Con Knipple has a unseasonably cold game from him. 4 for 17 from the field. I think the Raptors did a pretty good job on him. Scotty did a really good job on him at times. LaMelo Ball, 7 for 20. Again, just couldn't buy a 3, 1 for 7 from 3. Probably doesn't help his case that he's doing a lot of step back 1-footers. The Raptors do a better job than they have for most of the season on Miles Bridges, limiting his touches. And again, like who really cooks once again? Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton comes off the bench, 22 points. He was instrumental. He was really big. And Liam McNeely gave him some good minutes off the bench. PJ Hall gave him some good minutes. Tijon Salon having a much better season this year than last season. You know, he was super projecty last year, but I got a chance to watch him live last year, and I was very impressed. He is a huge human being. Like, if you're talking about projects, I don't have an issue with you taking a gamble on Tijon Salon at number 6. Probably should have gone for Matas Bazelis if you actually think about where the team would be had they drafted Matas Bazelis. But tonight, they play you super close. This is the 4th time the Raptors have faced the Charlotte Hornets. They have been bested 2-1 so far going into this. So this was, you know, interesting game. Like, every single game has either been close or the Raptors have lost. Like, the Hornets have been one of the tougher games for the Raptors this year. And yeah, they don't have Brandon Miller, but they haven't had Brandon Miller for most of the games that the Raptors have faced them. And this team is really good when Brandon Miller plays. Like, really good. Like, when Brandon Miller, Con Knipple, and LaMelo Ball play, I believe the numbers are, they are 9-4. They are 9-4. And that lineup with Brandon Ingram, Brandon Miller, Con Knipple, Musa Diabate, and LaMelo Ball actually has a plus, I want to say like plus 15 net rating. Like, they are insanely good. They're really good. We have a caller, Multi Kenny, from Player's Choice. Multi Kenny, I apologize. We don't take call-ins until we do the film breakdown. So that's going to be in about 15 minutes. But hang tight if you want. We will definitely get to you first. Okay, let's take a look at a little bit of what happened in this game, man, because this was a very interesting one from a film perspective. Again, you do not expect, with the way the Raptors were going in this game, that they were going to win this game. But man, shout outs to them. I said Immanuel Quickley on some bullshit here. This is not the first, second, or fourth time that Immanuel Quickley is going to make a big time mistake defensively. Here, completely just a wild closeout, you know, just wild. It's just and no recovery, just brain on dial up. Sometimes Immanuel Quickley's brain goes through these dial up moments. And this is how, you know, guys like Sandro Mamukelashvili, Jamal Shed end up in foul trouble, because you constantly putting them into compromising positions. Now, this is so impressive from Colin Murray Boyles. Gets knocked down. And, you know, again, where do you go? Look at this. Hand-eye coordination. Here, we are going to get this pass up when, and I like this read, the only 3 that Jacoby Walter hit all night, and that was from Brandon Ingram. Good job by Brandon Ingram getting him wide open for that 3. Jaylen Brown rubbing his hairline. Ignore that. I like this stable, sort of like patient offense from Scotty Barnes. You know, sometimes Scotty lacks offensive patience, poise, polish. But here, isolating, calling for an ISO on Liam McNeely, I like this. I like this process. You know, force the double team and then just finish through contact. Good job finishing strong. Scotty Barnes was doing a great job at the half. I can't believe that it took the refs this long to sort this play out. Like, we were sitting there for 2.5 minutes with them trying to figure out, look at this play closely. Now, that's a photo finish, right? Like, Scotty's long ass fingers are on that, but clearly off McNeely from the trajectory of the ball. So again, photo finish, but ultimately goes off Liam McNeely. I said Immanuel Quickley does not know how to play basketball. Well, apparently he knows how to hit game winners, but shoot, bro. Like, this is such an awkward finish, and Liam McNeely should not be able to stop any starting point guard from scoring like that. He is not a good defender. I watched him all last year. That's crazy. Like, just like, do something else, man. It's just such predictable bullshit offense sometimes. But hey, man, when it's going good, the real fake TZ. Did Scotty just sit in the fourth because he was tired? No, man. He was in the back. He was injured. So they were sorting that out. Ignore that. Okay. So again, you hit a game winner in a game where like it's such a complicated feeling because you don't want to be talking so much shit about a guy who hit the game winner because you want to give him his flowers. You don't want to come off as a hater. But man, we're going to talk about this because this is bullshit. First of all, okay, I don't know if you're flopping there, but if you genuinely get hit, get back. Now that's your man. Okay. You got to read the court. I have so many issues with Immanuel Quickley and his court mapping. If Colin Murray Boyles comes out to Miles Bridges, Bridges is not an idiot. This is a dunk for Moussa Diabate. So Colin Murray Boyles makes a snap decision here. Now, Immanuel Quickley is asking him to come out to Miles Bridges. Murray Boyles, however, is not a moron. So he is not going to give up an open dunk for Moussa Diabate. But apparently Immanuel Quickley can't figure this out. Like this is not algebra, bro. This is an open shooter who has time to dust off his shoes, check the three-point line, and launch clean. You don't get out there. So it's like you hit three, but here you just gave up 3 points. You gave up so many points on stupid ass plays like this. And if nothing else, this play to me is like, I'm so happy our rookie is smart enough that he won't listen. Like, why would you tell him to do that? Like if you do this, if I was your big and you asked me to do this as a point guard, I'm not a big, I'm a point guard, but if I was a point guard and I asked my big to do this and my big looked at this in the film session, he'd be like, I don't think I'm ever going to listen to this guy again. Like, you know, for a fucking fact, Immanuel Quickley, you're not going to get back for a Moussa Diabate dunk. Like, this is, you're asking your team to give up 2 points to stop what? Miles Bridges? Like, there's no 3-pointer in the league who's more accurate than an open dunk. None. So it just kind of plays like this that you see in real time, and you're just like, damn, I don't know if Immanuel Quickley understands how to play basketball sometimes. Okay. Immanuel Quickley, cold shooting continues, but hey, man, RJ Barrett, good job. Hustling, high motor, gets fouled, goes to the line, hits the free throw. Good job. Scotty Barnes, giving you some of that DPOY impact. I mean, this is a guy who was guarding Knipple. This is a guy who was helping weak side shot blocking, boxing out Moussa Diabate, and then also doing shit like this, clamping a really good ball handler in Colin Sexton and just stripping him live dribble. Good job. Ugh. Sorry, guys. I have allergies. Ooh. Now, this is not how you want to end a half. Seriously. Immanuel Quickley here looking for RJ Barrett. Tijon Salon covers him up, tries to get through the gap. Knipple gets a hand on it, and here just enough deterrence for Moussa Diabate to block that shot. Tough, man. Tough. And the next play down, here RJ Barrett goes, can't split the difference. Again, Moussa Diabate is so underrated. And here to Immanuel Quickley, the exact same shot that he would hit 2 quarters later. So that's just funny. But nevertheless, Immanuel Quickley, really cold shooting night up until that game winner and up until that fourth quarter, really, because he was a huge part of what the Raptors did in the fourth quarter. I said no one thought this was going in. Immanuel Quickley, shout outs, man. Again, this is an opportunity to go to the defender's other side. But unfortunately, you make the play so late, it allows Liam McNeely. So it's just like with Immanuel Quickley, sometimes you just like, okay, turn on the jets, bump, but you slow down so much that the help recovers, and boom. This happens to Immanuel Quickley every game. Every game, something like this happens. Now, the Raptors did a really good job of getting back into this game. They started out the third quarter like a mess. Like they were a complete mess in the start the third quarter. They did a really good job of getting this game back to 67-66. Really low scoring affair, by the way. When's the last time you saw an NBA game that was 67-66 with a minute to go in the third quarter? But then Charles Lee puts Con Knipple back in, and the impact is immediately felt. And the Hornets go on a quick 5-0 run. Here, the Raptors send a double team on Con Knipple, thinking, hey, Jamal Shed, a little bit compromised, undersized there. And Knipple, great read out to Con Sexton. That's how he got 22 points. Great job. Now, the Raptors did a great job in the fourth quarter, again, like getting back into this game, 77, 76, 78. This game was not close. It was 69, 78, and then they just shut the water off. And it was a 9-0 scoring run for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. The Raptors defense really showed up. Mamu did a great job. CMB doing a great job. And here, Jamal Shed doing a great job, just kind of sitting in the gap, helping. But unfortunately, helps a little late, and Colin Sexton beats him off the dribble, and boom, here and one. And you're like, okay, there goes the dynamite. The Raptors have used so much energy to get back into this game, and there's really no hope. And I promise you, at this point, like, there's not a chance you're coming back in this game. Like, right now, you are not coming back into this game. It is 81-79. The Hornets are starting to get going. You're totally gassed. Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett playing well, but Scotty Barnes in the locker room. Brandon Ingram's out for the game. You're not winning this game on the road. You're not winning this game. And then, boom, RJ Barrett hits a three. And look at the bench. Everyone is excited because, again, like, this is crazy, right? And here, it's just like, it's the RJ Barrett show. And this is like, he's right back in high school. I promise you, I watched a lot of RJ Barrett in high school. This is his entire game in high school. Bully ball, take a bump, finish through contact. And it's really just, you see games like this and you're just like, man, like, wow, if he could do this consistently. This is awesome. Taking Colin Knipple to the woodshed there, scoring on him. Hornets don't send help. I said, Colin Murray Boyles and Sandro Mamukelashvili doing God's work here. Immanuel Quickley misses, I believe, his 7th three at that point. Here, you see CMB just push a big out of the way. He's desperately undersized. Sion James is no small dude. Like, these are older dudes that he is just pushing out. I love that quote from Colin Murray Boyles when he was asked, like, if he's surprised by his success, and he's like, nah, bro, I lift. Like, I love that, because that is a confidence that can only be earned by people who actually do the work, And here, CMB won't force it, resets, gets it to Jamal Shed, skip pass over to Sandro Mamukelashvili, who was, by the way, also celebrating his Christmas, also Orthodox. Shout out to Sandro. Merry Christmas to him. But also, he was the guy who broke the Raptors' three-point shooting drought, 18 straight, and he hit the 19th one. And here, RJ Barrett. Again, I did not expect this to go in. But RJ takes it. He's the hot hand. I'm not really sure what else the Raptors had going at that point. But at that point, I'm just like, you need to get something better than RJ Barrett step back threes. I do like the idea of RJ advantage. Like, RJ really got this run going. They let him get going. Like, there were 2 plays in a row. It was in the beginning of the fourth quarter. One was attacking a tilted defense, and the other one was like a wide open layup. When he saw the ball go in 2 times, it was like the floodgates just opened. You got to be very careful if you are an opposing team, or if you're the Raptors, frankly. Don't let players get hot, because once that water turns on, you might not like the fact that you can't turn it off. And when RJ Barrett started to see the ball go through the rim a couple times, it was like all bets are off, right? Someone needs to do a wellness check on Shannon. Why? He should be happy. Shannon shouldn't have been banned. No, he definitely should have been banned. Anyways, but yeah, like this, you just need to get something better than that. And again, RJ's big adjustment with the Raptors has been that he is just taking way fewer dribbles to get his game off. And I don't mind RJ attacking tilted defenses, RJ drag screen, attack off the dribble handoff. Love that, going downhill. Not always the greatest finisher against length, but he's assertive and he puts a lot of pressure on the rim. But this, like dribble, dribble, dribble stuff probably needs to cut that out. But here, once again, over Conconnipple. Did he get a foul for this? This is a clear foul. So Conconnipple really didn't know what to do with him. And once again, this might be his most impressive shot. And I was screaming, no, this is not, there's no way is he going to make this shot. I was convinced, man. I'm not a hater. I'm just realist. Like, this is a hard shot. Here, RJ Barrett, pump fake, Miles Bridges takes the contact. Look at the angle on this shot, dude. Like, this is crazy. Like, the amount of focus to just falling backwards hit this. Like, that's some Maple Mamba shit, bro. Like, that is some shit that could actually earn you the name. Like, Kobe made a living making shots like this. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Like, and probably could have called an N1 there too. Like, there's so much contact. Bro, Shannon hyped tonight. He should be, man. I'd be hyped too. If my favorite player played like this, I'd be super hyped. Believe me, if Scotty Barnes carried us back with like 15, 16 fourth quarter points, I'd be super hyped. Now here I say heartbreaker, but read the caption. But if you're LaMelo, you'd have to be stupid to leave 1.6 on the clock. Again, here we go. LaMelo Ball, 7, 6, 5. You gotta manage clock. You gotta manage clock. If you are a point guard, you're in this situation, 94-94. I'll tell you right now, I have been in the situation. I think every basketball player has been in the situation where you've been tied and you have the final shot. And your coach always says, whatever happens, we take the final shot every single time. I don't care if you're in high school and it's, 48-48, 62-62, 61-61. We've all been there. Okay. You have the final shot. Clock 20, 19, 18. You do not turn it over. You do not overpass. You don't give them a chance. Worst case scenario, you miss the shot. You go into overtime. And you're at home. You should absolutely have no fear of overtime. And you don't have Moussa Diabate on the court, so you're not going to get the offensive rebound in this situation. They got Scotty Barnes on the court. You're not. I mean, I also thought this was a little bit risky, from Darko Rajakovic, gutsy, if you will, to put Colin Murray-Boyles on the bench, given how he had been playing, especially on the glass. But here, Immanuel Quickley gets completely blown by. And Scotty Barnes cannot recover because this would be a very easy pass out to the shooter. And Sandro Mamukelashvili, not a shot blocker. And there you go, 1.6. Now, there should have been probably a little bit more more time on the clock, but this might be one of those situations where the TV clock was a little bit ahead of the game clock. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, the Raptors need a 3 to win. There's nobody on this team that I trust to hit a 3 with the game on the line. Brandon Ingram might be the one guy that I really actually do trust to hit a game winner like this. But man, pressure on the road, crazy, right? They lost them. But go back and look at how they lost them. Now watch Scotty Barnes on this play. Okay, right here. Boom. Right there. That's your game. This 2 feet of separation. And I think Mamu just did a great job of delivering this pass at the right moment. Everything timed up perfectly right here. Immanuel Quickley. Now, I don't love this idea of a player coming from the paint to above the break. Like, I personally would prefer a slightly better angle, but this is a crazy hard shot. Yegor Demon just hit a crazy game winner too. Shout out to Yegor, man. That's dope. Yegor Demon and Immanuel Quickley. Oh my God. with all the shit that I talked about Immanuel Quickley today, I really look like I have mud on my face, but I don't. Honestly, I'm very happy for IQ. I hope that this is the type of performance that can turn around his season. There was a comment that I was reading on our thread just a couple of days ago where somebody said, like, "Oh man, like Immanuel Quickley sucks. Like he's unwatchable. He's da 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 da." And I was like, you know what? Like I get it. Like he gives me PTSD sometimes. A lot of stress. Really frustrating to watch him make bad reads, but I really hope he can figure it out at some point. And there he is, figuring it out. Okay, so let's get some callers here. We will definitely get some, takeaways at some point, but let's get some callers. We got Multi Kenny. Multi Kenny, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what's good? So I didn't get to catch the Raptors game itself. But I love your breakdowns. First time I actually been able to like call in to a full breakdown of one of your shows because Loki, you just too late, man. I'm asleep by now. But I
What time
saw
zone are you? What time zone are you on?
I'm Central,
Okay,
so it's only 9, but I go to sleep really early. So
got you.
yeah. But yeah, great breakdown, great content, man. But I really want to talk about the elephant in the room right now, that Trae Young trade. If you got a second.
Sure.
Have you got to look at the details yet?
It is Corey Kispert and it's Corey Kispert and CJ McCollum, right?
Yep. Pretty much that's pretty much it. And
Is there
everyone's
any
initial
more?
reaction, nope, that's it. And everyone's initial reaction is just like, oh, that's all they got. But when you look into the details about the contracts and what they got off of, they're
Mhm.
prepared to make another move. They're going for AD. They have to be. To be making a move like this, they have to be going for AD.
You think the Atlanta Hawks are going for AD?
Yeah.
And what's the trade for AD?
Not sure, but they not sure about the specifics, but they're freeing up a lot of cap space for maybe not before the deadline, but I think for next year they're going for AD because CJ McCollum's an expiring contract,
Mhm.
and I think they're trying to get rid of that money because I think CJ McCollum's contract gets is done after this year.
CJ isn't expiring. Yes, he
Mhm.
is.
So
So
I think that's what their goal is. What do you think with AD? How he fits for the Hawks, depending on what they might have to give up.
I think if it is if they're rerouting CJ McCollum and then they're adding Zachary Sachet, I'm totally cool with that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with that. I think Anthony Davis is like a really good. Oh, there we go. So Paolo Banchero for the win. There we go. Damn, Paolo just hit a game winner. So
Mm,
that wipes that out. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I like the idea of Anthony Davis in Atlanta with Jalen Johnson. I think he gives them some like stable half court offense.
hmm.
And if all it takes is Zachary Sachet, who I'm kind of like, what's he going to turn into, a role player? Cool. There's a real opportunity in the Eastern Conference right now. Uh, if they really believe in Jalen Johnson going forward, Anthony Davis plus Jalen Johnson's a pretty good. Plus, if they can get KP back for the playoffs, he's been awesome. So, like, what front court in the NBA, like, what center power forward combination do you think is more dominant than Anthony Davis and a healthy Kristaps Porzingis?
Well, I don't even think I won't even want to count on a healthy Porzingis. Something's going on with him, man. This illness of his that keeps reoccurring. I'm legitimately concerned. But with that in mind, not even just him and KP. I think him and just having him, KP, and Onyeka, if they're able to hold on to Onyeka as well, I think that's a great front court rotation right there. That's you get decent you get decent defense, you get good offensive production. Um
Mhm.
now I know Anthony Davis isn't, 2020 Anthony Davis, but without him having to be like a number or like a primary like ball handler, probably initiator of anything. Um, I think he's able to be utilized in Atlanta's offense, especially with someone like Jalen Johnson being involved.
Right.
So I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know. They're
I could see it. I think he's. I'm more worried about like where their guard play comes from. They don't really have much of it, right? So I'm not really sure if this sets it up. I think they just wanted to get off that Trae Young money, man. Honestly,
that's
I
true.
I do. Like I don't think they wanted any business paying him. They've obviously been a little bit better this year without him. If they can get I mean Corey Kispert's not a bad player. He's a pretty
Hmm.
good player, you know. So they get shooting uh which is partially what they wanted from Trae Young in the first place. They get a little bit of that back with CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert, and you know they'll probably be a playing team, at this point. But I think Anthony Davis would take them to like a potential conference finals if he's healthy. But it's just like, man, can you imagine the injury worries of an Atlanta Hawks fan with KP and AD, you know? And KP is also an expiring contract. And Anthony
Yeah,
Davis would present all the same, well, similar problems to Trae Young because you have to sign him up for big money really soon too.
that is true. That is true. That is true.
Yeah, but what do you think about this? What do you think from the Wizards' perspective? Like, does Trae Young make sense on the Wizards? I know we talked about it on the panel,
Hmm.
and I, for one, I think he definitely does something good for them. They've been winning games recently,
Hmm.
but
I
I
think he
think
just adds.
go ahead.
Like you said, like he adds a layer of kind of offensive diversity that they might be lacking because of his playmaking skills. Like the fact that he can distribute the ball like he can. I know he
Right.
hasn't been shooting the ball well, but this is it's just the threat. They treat him like he's a shooter, even if he hasn't been shooting well. They guard him like a shooter, and he is someone who will make the right read. I think it does open something up. I don't think it moves the needle of the Wizards per se. I don't think it turns them to a bad team to a great team. I think it just turns them into, okay, we can see what we can get, and we have at least some building blocks here to at least start building towards something. But I still think there's other moves that need to be made. There's people they need to draft to shore up the deficiencies that Trae Young brings.
Hmm.
So, and then also, but with that, with this trade that they're doing, getting off of CJ McCollum's money and Corey Kispert as well, they open up a roster spot and also get under the luxury cap as well. They're like 30 million. I saw under the luxury tax. So they have flexibility with their roster with this move as well. So they can make another move. Maybe not necessarily trade. They can pick up someone in free agency next year. It opens up a lot with that as well. I didn't realize how much moving CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert helped them financially.
It helps them tremendously. It helps them
Yeah.
tremendously because Trae Young is mega expensive, and I know Jordan made this really, really compelling case that Trae Young, could elevate plenty of teams into championship contenders. But I asked this question on the panel on Tuesday, where I said, "When's the last time you saw a player in the NBA Finals who started in the NBA Finals who was worse defensively than Trae Young?" And I don't think anyone had an answer because I don't think it's ever happened. I just
Hmm.
don't think that players who are that deficient defensively in the modern NBA, especially because I think Mars made a really good point about like how role players are more capable of exploiting significant defensive liabilities, not the
Hmm.
Luca level defensive liability, but we're talking like the Trae Young, um, Anthony Simons level defensive liability, right?
Keontae. Uh,
Keontae George is
yeah.
another one, like those dudes who are like, they can't even be bothered to be physically in the right place. Like, I think LaMelo is the bar. Like, LaMelo is the worst defender that you could actually still win with because he's providing something. Like, he's a good rebounder. He's big
Hmm.
enough to be in the right positions. Luka is the same thing. Like, he's big. He may not necessarily do well in space, but he's big. He can participate in a top 12 defense. I feel like if Trae Young is on your team, you're gonna like be a bottom 15 defense automatically.
Yeah.
So
There's too much you have to do to cover him up, and just it's like playing 4-on-1 on defense.
exactly. So you mean 4 on 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 on 5. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it's really hard for me to justify the idea of, like, trying to be a winning team, but also making a trade for Trae Young, because I just think, like, the compounding effect of him not being able to play off the ball significant like, really well. So it's not like he can go into the Jimmy Butler situation where it's like, okay, we got the star. We just need the star. We need some help for our star. No, if he's on your team, he is your star. He is your engine, because that's the only way you can even justify paying him 47, $48 million. And that's the only way you can fully utilize his passing, you know, which is on the ball, right? So if he could ever figure out shot selection, playing off the ball, movement shooting, figure out his percentages a little bit, he'd be perfectly fine. Right now in Washington, he will be their star, which I'm like, kind of like, why? Why did Washington do this? You know, like, you win the day. Congratulations. You have a star now. Maybe for a couple of months, teams will, like, you got off of Bradley Beal on time. Like, Washington is such a funny team, right? Like, you trade Daniel Gafford, you trade Denny Avdia to save money, presumably. You do a great job, actually, of getting off of Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura, but then
Mhm.
you trade for Trae Young? Like, why? Unless they really, really believe that Alex Sarr is about to become something really good, I think Trae Young just wins you 5 extra games right now that you really don't need to win. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's kinda where I'm
yeah,
at.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you had to bet, where do you think Anthony Davis ends up?
That's still in Dallas. I
Still in Dallas? What would you think about him in Toronto?
what do you have to give up? Like us, I remember you guys you talking about this. Like I feel like what would you have to give up to make that work? Especially for the money.
Jakob Poeltl has to be involved. That's 20 million. And
Mm,
RJ Barrett, who has done a lot of positives for his trade value so far, would have to be involved. That's 47 million. That's 47 million right there. And then probably Ochai Abaji
I'll try. So you have to put
and possibly a pick.
and the Mavs don't have their pick this year, right?
I don't know if they do. Someone's
See,
saying
they
is OKC about to lose? Is OKC about to lose to are they actually about to, oh my god. Are they about to lose to the Jazz right now? Is this
oh
about to happen?
that was bound to happen. I'm so sorry. I like the Jazz. Their offense is too good. I knew they're gonna pop somebody in the mouth. I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh my god. The Utah Jazz 114, OKC 112. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we need a Shea game winner or a Shea tying shot right now, because this is crazy. Unbelievable.
Nah, he got it. He got it. I think if I didn't have to worry about the technicalities of how he gets to the Raptors, I actually think that'd be a really good move. If I just head in the sand, what would it look like? Just 2K, put him onto the Raptors. I think that'd be really dope. I think that'd greatly improve your guys' chances. You guys would have an amazing defense.
Already have an amazing
Yeah, I
defense.
know. I'm just saying, like, just take and then just add Anthony Davis to that. So everything that Scotty Barnes does on defense, and then he has Anthony Davis as a rim protector. So like,
That would,
and then, but you have Mamu as well. Like what?
yeah. I think it would be I think it would be amazing. But it does advance the timeline a lot. Plus, like, Anthony Davis as a shooter, kind of weird. Uh we're going to overtime. The OKC Thunder are going to overtime. 114, 114, and Shea hits the game winner or the game tying shot. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch that game after. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, man, any final thoughts?
Nah, man. Just appreciate the good work, Pen. No matter the crap you get, warranted or not, I appreciate your insight, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We do the work. We deal with the haters. A lot of it is earned. A lot of it is well earned. But yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Thanks for supporting PC, and thank you for supporting me. Thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it, man.
Peace. Bringing on Jan Habitson. Jan, what's up, man?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up? Hello?
Ben?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh my god, this is him again.
Okay, Jan, reconnect and figure it out. Okay, from the Raptors' perspective, what does this game mean? It means that it means good things, man. I don't know what to tell you. It means that you, as the Toronto Raptors, are now 23-15, which means that you are among 10 teams in the NBA. 10 teams. Here are the teams that have the best winning records in the NBA. So let me just sort out the teams by winning record. Number 1, the OKC Thunder, 30-7. Number 2, actually should pull this on screen. My bad. Let me pull this on screen. Pull the standings on screen here so y'all can see it too. So this is big. This is big. Number 1, the OKC Thunder, 30-7. Number 2, the Detroit Pistons, 28-9. So the only 2 teams that have not lost 10 games yet. Number 3, the San Antonio Spurs. Who the hell saw that coming? That's amazing. 25-11 after tonight. Possibly more, but we'll see what happens with the Lakers. Number 3 is the Los Angeles Lakers. Who the hell saw that coming too? Number 4, the Denver Nuggets. Number 5, the New York Knicks. Number 5, the Houston Rockets. Number 6, 7, and 6 and 7 tied New York Knicks and Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 8, the Boston Celtics, and number 9, the Toronto Raptors. Is that fair? Is that right? Or no, I apologize. Minnesota Timberwolves, then the Toronto Raptors. My point is the Raptors are a top 10 team in terms of win percentage in the NBA, and that is pretty crazy. If you think about it, the Raptors are comfortably now holding on to 4th place in the Eastern Conference, or at least as comfortably as they could be. So that's pretty cool. And I mean, the Raptors have a really good road record now, too. They're 11-7 on the road. Again, a good mark of a good team is, can you win on the road? Because ultimately in the playoffs, you're going to have to win on the road. So the Raptors prove that they can win on the road. They've proven that they can win going away. They've proven that they can win very ugly. So this is a team that is showing you they've proven that they can win without a starting center. This is a team that was having a very difficult time winning without Jakob Poeltl earlier in the season. Today they just beat a pretty decent-ish team, pretty much without Jakob Poeltl and without Brandon Ingram, because BI didn't give you jack shit today. So it's just like this is a team that is just slowly inching their way back to relevancy and competitive basketball, and they play a gritty, selfless, defensively oriented, defensive first basketball style, and I really love it. Love this team, man. Gotta love supporting this team. Yes, there's a button to sort by league, so I don't have to like dance my eyes out. But yeah, I mean, there we go. There are the Toronto Raptors right there. So OKC, Denver, San Antonio, Los Angeles, who are doing battle tonight, right now. Denver, Houston. Denver just beat the Boston Celtics. And Houston, New York, Minnesota, Boston, Toronto. And, Boston is within reach. They're within reach. The Raptors can reach that. We didn't talk about Mo Bamba getting waived. Look, my initial reaction on the live when we got Mo Bamba was, oh my God, we got Mo Bamba. And then I had like 20 minutes to think about it. When I did my live on Mo Bamba, like people were like, wait, why are you so like on Mo Bamba? And that was when the reality of like Mo Bamba just sort of set in. And I was just like, yeah, I know the 2K version of Mo Bamba gets me excited because every single time I traded from him in 2K, like he ended up being like my backup center. But man, the reality of Mo Bamba is his career might be heading to Europe very soon, right? So Mo is gone. He lasted let's see, did he last 7 days, 8 days? I think he lasted 8 days on the team. It wasn't even 10 days. We'll see if once 10 days open up, if the Raptors will bring him back, but I very much doubt it. I feel like they took a look. They looked under the hood. They were like, oh, I get it. Back to the G League you go. So he played a grand total of, I think, 6 or 7 minutes for the Raptors. Yikes. Blake Murphy was saying he is going to sign a 10-day. We'll see. We'll see. They bring him back, apparently. We shall see. Did you react to the trade? I don't really have a ton to say about Trae Young. Like, I'm not the biggest Trae Young fan. I appreciate the talent, but I'm just not generally a fan of players who give up so much defensively. So yeah. Anyways, let's bring on Jan Habits on. Hopefully figure out the audio here. Jan, what's up, man?
Figure it out. Finally.
Okay, what's up, man? Hello?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay. We're just sorry, Jan. Anyways. Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, we did talk about the trade. AJ 26er saying distraction equals multi-Kenny. Multi-Kenny saying we talked about the trade. Yeah, we did talk about the trade. We did talk about the trade. Johnny Superzone was saying deep breaths. Yeah, you need to take some deep breaths, Jan. I feel like Penn would have a heart attack analyzing Trae's game every other night. Look, man, the talent is undeniable. Undeniable, right? Like, he is so significantly more talented than but I've heard some stuff. Like, I've heard that he's a nightmare, in terms of being a teammate. I've heard like a lot of like he rubs a lot of people the wrong way organizationally, thinks that, he's much better than he actually is, has a massive ego, doesn't play defense, doesn't know how to play off of anybody, doesn't want to orient the offense away from himself. It's typical AAU bullshit, man, if I'm being honest. Like, that's really what it is with Trae Young. It's a typical, and if you watch Trae Young in AAU, he played exactly this way, So look, that's why RJ Barrett deserves so much credit. Do you know how difficult it is to go from being gassed as the next up, the next franchise player, the next all NBA, la la la, whatever. Like, the way RJ Barrett was, the way Trae Young was, the way Brandon Ingram was, the way, you could look at Cam Reddish was like that. There's so many guys who get that treatment, from a young age, where everybody says they're going to be a superstar and then they're not, because you get to the league and you're not a superstar. It's Jalen Johnson, it's Denny Abdia, it's Scotty Barnes, it's those guys, Jaylen Brown. You look at that, John Morant, not guys who were initially stamped as star players, have become star players. And so you need to adjust. You need to mold your game, adjust your game. And I don't think Trae Young has. And I think that conference finals that they made, the Atlanta Hawks made, I don't think he played great, but it's enough for him to maybe have evidence that, hey, I'm good enough to lead a team playing the way I play. I think sometimes maybe you need to smell the roses a little bit, right? Like, over dribbling the basketball, over hunting your own shot. Like, Trae Young has lost the Hawks a lot of games with his shot selection, lack of paint finishing. And I just think, like, I'm personally very relieved that the Raptors did not trade for him. I would understand why they would have done it just to get off of Quickley's money. But I think Trae comes with a whole slew of problems that Quickley does not come with. Quickley doesn't have anywhere near the ego. He is a much better defender. And, frankly, at this point, he's a much better shooter. So, yeah. So I think, you look at a player like RJ Barrett, and I feel like RJ Barrett was headed in a very, very bad direction in New York. It kind of felt like he struggled being a third option off of Brunson and off of Julius Randle. And you're like, okay, well, his skill set doesn't really fit into third option stuff. And this year, I think his skill set is fit in perfectly to second, third option shit. Like, I think he's done a great job of just molding his game to be a lot more compact, a lot more adaptable. And I think that this is the kind of stuff that maybe someone like Cam Thomas is not getting paid because he can't do it, or Jonathan Kuminga is unable or unwilling to do it. And I just think RJ Barrett deserves a ton of credit because he has done it. He has done it. So, yeah. I hate how much we've been getting linked to Sabonis. Yeah, so, man, DeMontis Sabonis is really tough because you understand, again, why the Raptors would want to do it would be to get off of Jakob's money, and DeMontis is, just like Trae Young, a significantly more talented player than the one you'd be giving up. But once again, very expensive, doesn't fit, not a great defender, right? Now, is Domas a better defender than Trae Young? Hell yeah. Is Domas way more capable of actually competing in a top 10 defense like the Raptors than Trae Young would be? Hell yeah. There's levels to bad defense, okay? Like, I don't know if people understand this, but Jakob Poeltl isn't exactly fleet-footed in space either. The difference is Domas does not give you anything in terms of rim protection, and I think that that's where you need like Daniel Gafford in that sense, right? Like you probably prefer Daniel Gafford, and I think he's just so expensive. You already have Scotty, you already have Bi. Those are already very expensive players. I think the fit is wrong. You know, I mean, if Rudy Gobert were to ever become available, I think that fit would be wrong too, but for a completely different reason offensively. So I think what the Raptors need around these players is very delicate and very, specific, right? Like ideally you would want like someone like Santi Aldama. You would love a guy like Jaren Jackson, maybe. Although Jaren Jackson got his own issues. Anthony Davis is perfectly fine. Very expensive, potentially injury prone. Yes, comes with a lot of baggage in that. But at least from a basketball perspective, Anthony Davis fits. The player that I would really love on the Toronto Raptors is actually Kyrie Irving. Would love Kyrie Irving. Would you guys just trade IQ for draft capital? Bro, you think you're getting draft capital for Immanuel Quickley? You're giving up draft capital to get off of Immanuel Quickley. That shit ain't happening. Someone said, officially Utah Jazz fan. Why are you a Utah Jazz fan? You're a fan of awful basketball? Are they about to win? Uh-oh. No, they're not going to win. OKC going to win this. Chet tip shot. There we go. Nah, man. If y'all want to keep those, how about this? We keep the screen up. We will keep the screen up for you. OKC 124. Svi Mykhailiuk misses a shot. Chet Holmgren tip in dunk. Shea gets a defensive rebound. OKC closes it out. Okay. Whew. I think it helps to have the best player in the world, man. It really does. It really does. 42 points for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. If he's not playing like this, they're not winning games right now. I think Jalen Williams has been really bad. Like really bad. Someone said Laurie going to hit a game winner. How are you going to hit a game winner if they have the ball, bro? Like, okay. I will guarantee you this is 126 because I don't think did Shea get fouled? Because if Shea got fouled, he's not missing that second free throw. So there you go. Guaranteed 126. Now, you can go hit a three. It's not going to change the outcome. There you go, man. Making that MVP case. Let's go, Shea. Let's go. You got it. So, exactly. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander knows how to close it. Draw up the 4-point play for Laurie. Okay. We got a super chat here, and we actually got a starred chat. Said so Congo Man 25 said real reason Raptors won because it was my birthday wish. Happy birthday to you. I starred that comment. So happy birthday to you. And KP7. I apologize. This is 30 minutes late. Unfortunately, the Nets lost this game, but Deming going crazy on the Magic. LOL. Well, big shout outs to Paolo Banchero for hitting a three. He has had a horrible season so far, but shout outs for him. Shout outs to him for closing that out. It's been a crazy night in the NBA so far already. What could make it crazier? I don't know. Portland beating Houston. That would make it crazier. Chicago played Detroit like really close, and then the fourth quarter came and Detroit just pulled away. And Philadelphia, Washington was a bloodbath from the get-go, but now, hey man, Washington got reinforcements. They got Trae Young on the way. I don't know. I mean, this Trae Young thing is it's weird because you just drafted back-to-back guards in the lottery and Bub Carrington, and Trae Johnson. I believe in Trae Johnson, but he hasn't looked great. He hasn't looked great so far. I know a good friend of our channel, Erson Demir, was a very big fan of Trae Johnson. Love Trae Johnson. Did you see Beef Stew's stat line? I have a feeling it's not going to surprise me how great he is. Like Isaiah Stewart's been one of my favorite players in the league. If you have 31 points, oh my God. They won without Cade. Damn, bro. They won by this much without Cade. And you see, like, when I say that the Pistons are really fucking good, and Cade gets way too much credit for this. Like, he deserves a lot of credit for how good he's been. He's been a closer for them. He's been a lot of good things for that team. But, man, respect this team. They are a really good team. Ron Holland, like Isaiah Stewart, Asar Thompson, Duncan Robinson's been doing a really great job. I did not think he was going to fit in at all. Shout outs to them for getting him. He has fit in. And Dennis Jenkins, who did not have a good game tonight, but man, he has been good this year for a two-way guy. He's been best two-way guy in the league. So, it's a really well-coached team. It's a really well-coached team. It's a really good team. I mean, they did end up beating like the giddyless and Kobe Whiteless Chicago Bulls. So maybe you're going to dock them some points on that. But hey, man, it's an NBA team. You win without your best guy. And shout outs to Beef Stew, man, for the 40 bomb. That's great. OKC, they win. There you go. Lou Dort missing a. Okay. Well, cool. Cool, man. That's great. Yeah. Trae doesn't want to win. I mean, he wants to get paid. And do you blame him? Right? Like that entire Patrick Beverley thing this offseason was very telling from that perspective that, Patrick Beverley was basically saying like, listen, like you're this guy who gets numbers on a bad team. You don't play defense. I haven't missed the playoffs. You keep missing the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Trae Young brought it all back to personal accolades. He brought it back to all-star selections. He brought it back to all the bullshit that really doesn't matter to me. Because honestly, if you follow me, Scotty Barnes is my favorite player, right? You also know Peyton Watson is one of my favorite players in the league. You also know OG is one of my favorite players. I care about defense. And what I really care about, what I deeply care about is team basketball. Cared about it my whole life. This idea of stats, stat padding, making, trying to get to 20 points, this stuff does not matter to me. And when I notice that there is a player on my team that it does matter to, contracts, getting paid, I understand basketball is a business. I get it. But for me, like basketball from a pure sense is my team wins, your team loses. Don't care how it happens, right? Some way, somehow. And you will see very often that my favorite players typically reflect that. Jokic, Shea, they're all like this. They're all built like this, right? Did the Wizards give up any picks for Trae? I'm not hearing that they gave up any picks. And if they gave up any picks, they deserve to be fired immediately. Whoever's running that team deserves to be fired immediately. You do not need to give up picks at this point. I think for people who think Trae Young is like a superstar, you're shocked. You're shocked that his value has fallen this much. But I think if you talk to people around the league, if you talk to scouts this offseason, coaches don't value what he does very much. And I think the Atlanta Hawks' success without him really, really depressed his value. If the Hawks had gone on like an 8-game losing streak when he got injured, I think that would have maintained some value. And even then, I feel like people would have had a lot of trouble justifying the contract that he wanted. Lane, what's up, man?
Yo, is it too late to hop on here?
No, that's not too late. We got time for one more call. What's up?
Yes, sir, man. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
Man, how good was RJ tonight before?
He was amazing.
I was watching the Hornets broadcast because I use the pirated stuff like a non-law abiding citizen, and their play-by-play guy, I forget his name, but he's great. The Hum Diddly D dude, he was talking about, he's like, this is the RJ Barrett that Duke drafted that the Knicks drafted 3rd overall out of Duke.
Yeah, it is.
Like, oh my god, how electric. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I had no faith for him or Quickley to hit that shot. None at all.
I you know what? I don't bet, but I would have bet my house that he was going to miss that shot. Like, I was so sure that he was going to miss that shot. And then he hit it.
Did I tell you what, man? I hope this can either go one or two ways with him, knowing him. It's either going to go the way of he settles the hell down, hopefully, and this gives him confidence he needs to be in his role. Or this is going to go the way of, I just hit a mother effing game-winning shot. I'm him. I'm that motherfucker. I'm going to take even more stupid-ass shots and even more risks. And I hope it doesn't go that way. Because mentally, he's at a crossroad right now. Because he's on top of the world right now. You know he's on top of the world. He's on cloud 9 right now, wherever the hell he's at.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, I think he's going to be fine. Like, I think he knows his role on this team. He trained all off season with this in mind. Like, this is going to be my role, right? And I don't see why he would suddenly start thinking like that was going to change. It's not. I don't think having a hot fourth quarter is going to change. They needed him to do what he did tonight, though.
Definitely.
He still did take 25 shots to get 28 points. Like, that's not. He didn't put up a 50 ball on like 18 attempts. Like, he had a decent game. But his fourth quarter was amazing. They guarded it horribly. And I'm actually a little bit surprised Concaniple's defense was that bad. Really. And honestly, some of those shots were fucking unbelievable shots.
Yeah.
Unbelievable shots. Like,
yeah.
That fadeaway off the double pump fake, my God. Like, he was on a 50-degree angle falling away.
I mean, RJ and IQ tonight, the fourth, this was the game to where it's like, okay, prove yourselves.
Yeah.
Can you take over and win a basketball game down the stretch without having a crutch of Scotty or BI? And I mean, it was beautiful. It was very beautiful. And I think the unsung hero for this game is CMB. I mean,
Absolutely.
the Duke 15 rebounds, much needed rebounds. I mean, man, I wish that Mo Bamba would have worked out, but the ball IQ is just not there for his role or what we necessarily need him to be for this team. So I feel bad for guys like Scotty and for guys like CMB when they have to play that center position. But I'm telling you what, though, like when you look at a guy like Mo Bamba and then you look at a guy like CMB, which one do you want getting minutes for you at that center spot? Because I'll tell you who I want.
Yeah, it's obviously CMB.
Yeah, definitely.
But what is CMB's long-term position, though?
Power forward, back up to Scotty. Or small forward, power forward, back up to Scotty. But I see Scotty as a 3, not a 4.
Yeah. I
mean,
think
CMB is clearly most comfortable in the post, but he's not a center. So I think the 4 makes the most sense.
Yeah, 6'6" power forward. I mean, look, man, like Isaiah Stewart, he's about 6'7".
Do you know who he reminds me of? And it might just be because I'm a Raptors fan, but I'd be interested to see first-year Serge Ibaka stats right next to first-year CMB stats. They're very much the same player in terms of energy that they provide when they're in the game.
I mean, Serge was just a way, 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 way better shot blocker, but
he was a lot bigger too. But I feel like rebounding-wise, energy-wise,
he was also way more athletic.
So far, I feel like CMB still has another jump to take. He's a young guy.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it just his strength that allows him to get those rebounds? Because it's certainly not as vertical. Like, why is he
I
getting
think-
so many rebounds these couple recent games?
I think rebounding, as I have listened to Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace describe it, is about anticipation, understanding, hand-eye coordination, early positioning, hustle, work, motor, strength, length. A lot of it. It's about a lot of things. Like, a lot of things go into becoming a really good rebounder, and it is not for everybody. He has a lot of components that should make him a really good rebounder. So, one, he is just way bigger. If you look at his reach, if you look at the standing reach, if you look at the wingspan, he should be like, he has around the same wingspan as a lot of guys who are like 6'10", 6'9". So that helps. Immediately that helps. He has a 7-foot wingspan. The second thing is he is super strong. Like Scotty was describing it as, like I think Michael Grange asked him in the previous interview, like post game, like, does he remind you of yourself as a rookie? And he's just like, dude, like I was 220 as a rookie. Like this guy's 240. He's a good 240. So that's, I think, helping him out a lot. And then the third thing is, you can be 240 and not be super strong. I hate to say it, but it's true. There's different types of 240, man. Like Fred VanVleet was super strong. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Fred VanVleet is super strong. He was probably 200 pounds, but he was like, Kyle Lowry was super strong. Con Knipple is super strong, right? It's like, I don't feel like strength and weight have to be correlated. They just because they often are doesn't mean they always are. Shaquille O'Neal was like, Shaq at 290 was stronger than like any player at 290 other than Wilt in NBA history. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, you could be 290 and not be super strong. You know what I mean? Like, you just have weight. CMB has actual strength, and he has like old man farmer strength. So when he rips the ball away, it's like,
Where like, would be some? Sorry, I was just gonna say some of it probably comes down to his IQ and positioning too. Like, I just feel like he's always in the right spot for it, and knows like when to jump, when to reach. Like his timing is so good.
Yeah, like I mean, so you've probably seen people who like they look like they're about, I don't know, 200 pounds, and you find out they're like 230. I mean, you've probably seen people who are like 200 pounds, you find out they're 180. I feel like there probably is some science to explain why certain people look heavier or are heavier or whatever. CMB, when you look at him, he doesn't look like he's 240.
He's just dense.
He's just extremely dense. And I think that's what it is. He is just an immovable object. I've listened to people describe, guarding him at South Carolina, and they just say, like, you hit him and he does not move. So his center of gravity is extremely low, right? And he is extremely dense. So like there's just there's a strength component to it for sure. He's just not moving. So and I've seen defenders try to back him down in the post, and he does not move. He is like a rock. So, he might be 240, but he's pretty much pushing guys out of the way who are 265. So
move him for anything. I don't move him for a damn thing. He doesn't go out in any single trade for me.
Okay.
Realistic trade, like if we're talking Shea or Jokic, like obviously, but like let's be real.
You don't have to go to Shea and Jokic.
Yeah,
to move CMB, dude.
Because I know that
I would move CMB in a Zubac trade.
I wouldn't. I can't guarantee that CMB won't be if as good, if not better, in 3 or 4 years. And
okay. Let me give you a hypothetical trade, and this is not like likely to happen, but I'm saying like could happen. Would you trade CMB and 2 first-round picks for Dylan Harper?
And 2 unprotected? Probably not. Bro, I'm higher on VJ and Khan than I am on Cooper and Harper.
I think Harper's a really good player, but I think he gets the handicap to playing next to Wembanyama and having De'Aaron Fox. Like, he doesn't have the pressure on him a guy like CMB has. Think about it. CMB is butt-ass naked. when it comes to the front court position on this team. I mean, he could easily freaking fail and fall over on his ass. And everyone's going to sit here and they're going to be like, well, we just don't have another center. He's got to do it because we don't have another center. But the story of tonight is not even though we got out rebounded, it's not we got our asses kicked on the board. CMB kept us afloat. Right? And this is no shade to Harper. I'm sure Harper's going to be the better player in the long run. But I'd be interested to see what he looks like without having those crutches compared to a guy like CMB who's kind of been thrown into the fire and thrown to the pack of wolves, and it's like sink or swim.
I would give our 2026 first in a Harper trade, but nothing more than that. Plus CMB.
You mean plus CMB?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would gamble everything for Dylan Harper. I think.
Oh,
Dylan
really?
Harper,
I didn't know you were that high on him.
I'm insanely high on him. I think he's going to be all NBA within 3 years.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
For your sake,
yeah.
I said for your sake, I hope he is. I just don't see how he does that with Fox there still.
He's better than Fox.
I bet he is, but I mean,
he's going to be better than Fox. Like within a year, he'll be better than Fox. I truly believe that. I know people think I'm crazy, but he is the theory of Cade Cunningham.
I wish that we could have De'Aaron Fox as our point guard. That's probably the only other smaller guard I would take on this team other than just going full point Scotty. I think he's everything.
I want Kyrie, dude. I want Kyrie on this team.
Yeah, realistically though.
Kyrie is more realistic than De'Aaron Fox.
They're gonna move off of De'Aaron here in the next few years. I just don't know. We just don't have the assets to go get that.
But if you're building around 19-year-old Cooper Flag, why does Kyrie Irving and you're shopping AD? Why is Kyrie Irving not on the move? Kyrie's coming off an injury. He hasn't played in a really long time.
But what are they? I don't think we have the package for either of them. But like, what does Kyrie even begin to look like that they would take? Realistically, I mean, they're not taking
Immanuel, Quickley, Grady Dick, and a pick.
You think that's it?
I would do that in a heartbeat.
I think the Magic outbid us out of the water with pick swaps.
For what? Who are they trading? Jonathan Isaac, Wendell Carter? Like, what are they doing? Suggs?
They would trade Suggs for Kyrie.
No, I don't think so. If they would, they shouldn't. Jalen Suggs is amazing. I would trade for Jalen Suggs in a heartbeat. Jalen Suggs is a really good player. I
wouldn't mind Suggs. I just worry about his durability.
40 games of Jalen Suggs or 82 games of Immanuel Quickley. What do you want?
I got to stay true to what I always say, and availability is the best ability.
Suggs, because we do better when Quickley's on the bench.
I would take 40 games of Jalen Suggs any day of the week. Any day. I'll gamble. I would gamble on Jalen Suggs for sure. He's also younger. He's a much, much better defender. He's so much better defensively. Like, do you realize what Jalen Suggs turns you into defensively? It turns you into the second best defense in the NBA. Like, that's the gap. That's the difference. Jalen Suggs plus Scotty Barnes defensively plus CMB plus Jacoby. Holy shit.
The biggest piece of this is we don't have a center. That's mighty impressive.
I mean, if you get Jakob Poeltl back in a couple of games.
Do you think he's coming back in a couple of games? I think
he's already been cleared. He's already been cleared for injury. Yeah. I'm sorry, he's already been cleared for contact.
But I mean, it's the same. Okay, like Darius Garland was cleared for contact like mid-October, and he didn't come back till mid-November. And this is a back we're talking about here with almost or over 37-footer.
Yeah, but they were overcautious with him because he's had a recurring injury with the toe.
I mean, this is a 7-footer that's had a recurring injury with a back.
No, that's fair. But the Raptors are also notoriously close. They play these things close to the chest. So the very fact that they have broadcast so widely that like, oh, like he's cleared for contact. Like, I don't think that they would bring that up if he's just going to be out for another month.
No. Or what do they call him? The Silver Fox? Nobody is a better athletic trainer than him. Best in the league. By far. We should honestly give that man a lifetime contract. If we're being honest, he got us our ring.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he's good. Alex McKechnie's good. I think he's a little bit overrated personally, but yeah.
You think so? Cool. Really? I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just wondering, like, why do you think so?
Because the Raptors have had a ton of injuries.
I don't necessarily think that's on him. I think it's more just I equate Scotty's to just overuse.
Well, also like it took Vince Carter telling Scotty Barnes to wear ankle braces after he tweaked his ankle 500 times in 2 years. I thought that was very weird. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think the Raptors, whatever team it is that is responsible for like medical stuff and the injections and like whatever it takes to get them back on the court, I think that stuff is great, but we don't do a good job of preventing injuries, in my opinion. Like once
Yeah.
the players are healthy again.
And also like hold on, like Kawhi was notoriously like cagey about his body, like very notoriously cagey. So I think, at least from what I understand, it wasn't just an Alex McKechnie thing. It was also like Kawhi.
But think about
His
how
team.
many guys we've taken over the years with reoccurring injuries, and then they come here, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's magically fixed. Like Danny Green and his groin. Like Danny Green barely played the whole season before with the Spurs because he had a groin injury. He
Okay.
barely played more than Kawhi did. Kawhi didn't play at all. And he comes here, and I mean, the biggest thing I remember watching the Green podcast back in like 2020. And he was asked about like what was the biggest difference between San Antonio and Toronto, and he said the medical staff. He said I didn't have a groin issue that whole season, and now that I'm here, in LA, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm kind of worried about it. Back up again, and then what he's done with Brandon Ingram this year so far. I mean, granted, a freak thumb injury is a freak thumb injury, and I hope it's not long term. But with that ankle and with those knees, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I like the guy. I mean, there's so many bad medical staffs all over all the sports. I guess maybe this is the one team I follow in every single sport that has at least above average medical staff. And so I absolutely.
I would definitely give them top 10. Like the Raptors have a top 10, top 12 medical staff for sure. I just don't know if like because we pay so much attention to it, and because Alex McKechnie has such an incredible resume. Given that he, worked with Shaq, worked with the Lakers, he already comes with that kind of golden boy mentality or resume, right? So I think maybe he gets a lot of credit for that kind of stuff. But again, from what I'm seeing around the NBA, from what I hear from trainers who work with the Raptors, work with Raptors players, etc., they would qualify the OKC Thunder staff as much better. There's a couple of really good staffs, but yeah,
they're the class of the league. I mean, for almost everything, they're the class of the league. I mean, and to be honest with you, if they were to flip J-Dub for Giannis at this point, their fans wouldn't even blame them.
I would make that trade in a heartbeat. I'm like really, really low on J-Dub right now. I don't know what the hell it is. I mean, I'm sure at some point this season he's going to turn it around, but I've always had issues with his game. And when I started seeing him ranked as like the 11th, 12th, 13th best player, I'm just like, what are people watching here? Like he's not the 12th best player in the league.
He was the 14th player in the finals last year, the 14th, the fourth best player in the finals last year.
Yeah, but he was one-dimensional, and I think that was just a weak spot of the Pacers defense where you could keep on driving and getting away with it.
Yeah, I mean, he earned his All-NBA selection last year based on his defense alone. Like his defense was incredible last year, and arguably he was their most important defender. And they withstood injuries to Chet and Ihart at the same time, where he started at center. So if I'm going to give Scotty credit for doing that kind of stuff, I got to give it to J-Dub as well. And as an offensive player, he's probably a little bit more refined than Scotty, and so in a lot of ways he provides a lot of that, but he's not anywhere near the passer that Scotty is. And I think, I don't know, man. I can't get I can get on him when he was playing at his best as high as like 22, 23. And that's actually how I feel about Jaylen Brown too, by the way. A lot of people are gassing up Jaylen Brown's performance this year. It's like, oh, is he a top 5 player, top 6 player? I really don't think he's a top 10 player. Just don't see it.
I don't mind that take. I don't mind that. I mean, I've always thought,
I think Donovan Mitchell's way better than him.
100%.
Way better than him.
100%. Donovan Mitchell would
I agree.
Second to Shea. He might be the second craftiest scorer in the NBA right now.
Absolutely. I have this crazy take on the panel where I said if you put Donovan Mitchell on the OKC Thunder, I still think they would win a championship.
In place of who? In place of Shea?
In place of Shea. Yeah.
That's not crazy if everyone's healthy.
I mean, he's a better shooter. He's a better shooter than Shea.
Agreed.
He just does a lot of things differently. I think if you put Anthony Edwards there, now we could have a conversation about would it happen, would it not happen? Yeah. But yeah, like Devin Booker, I think now you're falling into like it probably wouldn't happen, and Jaylen Brown, it definitely wouldn't happen.
You don't think it would happen with Devin Booker?
I don't think so.
I really, really like Devin Booker. And in this era of basketball, when guys are asking out left and right when shit doesn't go their way, I mean, it's fine.
Maybe he's just comfortable. You know, some people don't ask out because they're afraid to leave comfortable situations.
He knows he can do whatever he wants there.
Well, part of that, you know, but again, like this, our society very much penalizes people for wanting to change situations. We and it's weird to me. We penalize people for wanting to get divorced, for quitting jobs, for shifting vocations, for shifting career paths. Why? Why do we have this?
I tell you what, you may disagree with me. He is my like number one player to put next to Scotty.
Oh, I would be all for it. Yeah, for sure. Devin is an amazing basketball player. Like I was actually last year around the trade deadline, I was like, the Raptors might trade for Devin Booker or Brandon Ingram. They trade for Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, I hear you. I honestly, I'm not. I know I had a little Brandon Ingram episode about a month ago. I've come up on him since then. I've seen him evolve more as a player. I've seen his handle get tighter. I've seen him care a little bit more. I've seen him not handle double teams perfectly, but handle them a little bit better. He's not getting trapped in the corner as much.
And defense.
Yeah, defense and rebounding. I can't believe how much better it is than when he was in New Orleans.
Well, here's the thing. I've always believed this, that your best player sets the marching orders on focus. How do you practice? How do you like spread the ball offensively? And how do you guard the ball defensively? I've always felt like if Kobe Bryant's your best player, you're probably going to care about defense. If Michael Jordan's your best player, you're probably going to care about defense. If Tim Duncan's your best player, you're probably going to care about defense. At the same time, if Trae Young's your best player, you're probably not going to care about defense. And that kind of goes to show like even someone as athletic as Jalen Johnson can learn to not care about defense after being sort of, you know, helmed on an offense led by Trae Young. And it's really hard to structure a defensive identity when your best player just does not give a shit on that end. It's really hard. You know, it happens occasionally. Like Luka's Dallas Mavericks were a pretty good defensive team, but it was largely due to the fact that they had Daniel Gafford and, you know, Derek Lively in there shutting everything down. But yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to care about defense when your star player doesn't give a shit about it. So I think the fact that Zion was not a good defender, you know, BI was not necessarily a great defender. I just think that, you know, even a really good defender, like I think Trey Murphy was a pretty good defender at one point. He just kind of stopped playing defense. You know, DeJounte Murray used to be a good defender. Yeah. He didn't play defense last year either. So yeah, like I think it's just it can't just come from Dyson Daniels and Herb Jones is what I'm saying. It can't just come from OG Anunoby. It has to start at the top. And even if your best player isn't your best defender, they have to just care about defense. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not a top 3 defender or 4 defender on OKC, but he cares about defense.
I think that's what makes the Knicks so good. A guy like Brunson, who is probably a mid to
he cares. He cares though.
Cares a hell of a lot, and he's very active, right? I have a question for you. This is something I've been thinking myself a lot here lately. If we were to go back a year, and let's just say hypothetically Brandon Ingram had been playing for the Pelicans like he had been playing for us this year, what would the price of admission for him be nowadays? Like how much has his value improved in just a little bit under 365 days?
1 first-round pick.
Still? Or one more on top?
1 more.
Do you still think it's Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, or do you think that we get outbid for something bigger at that point? Do they look more instead of for cap space and flexibility in the next offseason, do they look for maybe a win now player if they were forced to trade Brandon Ingram? Because believe me, like if he was playing this good for them, they wouldn't move off him.
I mean, I will remind you that his analytics really suck.
They do.
Like they really, really, really suck.
But he's a guy like RJ Barrett to where if you put him next to Scotty Barnes, it makes the whole thing tick. It does.
Focus matters defensively, but he's always been focused on defensively. So it's not like there's something that is happening. The context has changed. So the BI context has changed in two significant ways. Number one, he's actually playing. So the injury concerns have gone away. Number two, he's playing on a winning team. So the loser, empty calories bullshit, those concerns have gone away. He's still technically the leading scorer on a bottom 12 offense that is being largely carried, and the team is winning largely due to defense. So in a lot of ways, I think of Brandon Ingram's offensive contributions the way I used to think about Cade Cunningham's contributions, which is, yes, you are the leading scorer. Yes, you are the leading shot taker, but your team is winning largely due to defense.
Yeah.
So weirdly enough, one of his mentors growing up was Jerry Stackhouse. Kinston, North Carolina. Both of them are from Kinston, North Carolina. It's kind of interesting that his career is taking on a very Jerry Stackhouse like arc.
Yeah, I will have to say too, I do think the Raptors being, what are we, 18th, 19th in offensive rating is actually kind of manipulated by the fact that RJ and Jakob missed a lot of time. Like, it's really
Sure.
hard without those two, because you look when they were both playing, what were we? We were top 8 offense.
We were top 5 offense.
Yeah, we hovered around top 5, right?
And we had a top 5 half-court offense, which was very good. But right now, I think our offense is suffering for more than that. Like, one, our shooters have gone totally cold. And number two, I feel like we just do not have a great answer for the zone.
I would agree with that. I think that Scotty is the answer, but how can you get him to the middle of the court is the question.
Yeah, but in a lot of ways, you could argue that Jakob Poeltl being on the court makes it even harder to get Scotty to the middle of the floor.
I would agree with that. I think Jakob's saving grace is the fact that he's a good passer to where you could have either him or Scotty in the middle of the floor, and it makes sense, at least somewhat. But I also think
so they can kick it back out to the perimeter and we can miss more threes.
I think Jakob's saving grace is that he's a great screener. So if nothing else, he can free Scotty up or BI up or RJ up or IQ up at all times. And he's also insanely smart. Yeah, so even without the basketball, he's still getting assists through screen assists. And I think that what we saw Scotty do today, right? Setting a super hard screen. If Scotty did that all season, we'd be 2 wins better off right now. He just doesn't do it. And it's frustrating as hell because he has the body to do it. He has the physicality to do it. So now there's like 3 players on your team that should be great screeners, right? They should be great screeners.
Yeah.
Number 1, obviously, Jakob Poeltl. Number 2, CMB. Number 3, Scotty Barnes. Only 2 of those guys consistently show up as screeners. Now, we can go further and say, if you could get a guard screener, this would be very helpful.
Agreed. And is your name Wesso? My fault. I don't want to miss. Okay, yeah. So you make a great point about missing threes. The thing is, the answer is on the bench.
And who that?
They just need to be more efficient.
Are you going to say Jameson Battle?
Jameson Battle.
No.
Oh.
You put him in the corner for 10 minutes a game, consistently 10 minutes a game, each game.
No.
He will be fine.
I just don't think he's a good enough defender to warrant 10 minutes consistently.
I don't mind him on shooting guards. I think when you try to match him up against 3s and 4s is when it gets kind of dicey. But even when he was in college, he never guarded front court guys. He always guarded backcourt.
But that's not where you can go defensively. And I think like I probably didn't do justice to it in the film breakdown. But man, there were like 6-7 possessions in a row where the Hornets hunted Quickley and RJ Barrett defensively every step of the way. And I could make an argument. Grady Dick was unplayable today, and Jameson Battle is closer to Grady Dick defensively than he is to, like, I don't know how else to put it. This, like, I was shocked too, because like when I went back and I studied like Jameson Battle's tape defensively, it's just really bad. Like, he doesn't have anything that he does defensively that is like, oh, that's his role. You know,
It's hard to get a bigger sample size though when you got guys like Ochai Agbaji playing over you. And I understand why Ochai's playing over him, because you have to keep that trade value at least somewhat afloat to be able to dump his ass somewhere. But it's really, really hard to catch that.
Ochai probably shouldn't play over him. I get that, because at worst case, like he's the one heart attack shooter, right? Like he is the one, like he's not Con Knipple, but he's like the one guy like Con where it's like, oh, he's open, shit, heart attack. The difference here is that unlike Con, he's not going to attack off of that and generate like more advantages downhill. Like there's just not a lot that he does
I
beyond.
agree with that,
hitting
but I
threes.
think if you remember back to when he was getting consistent playing time, the spacing looked freaking great, because the 10, 15 minutes he did get, he would sit in the wing and sit in the corner, right? And then now you got guys like Ochai. And like I said, I understand why he plays, but if I was coaching against the Raptors and Ochai Agbaji's on the court, I'm double teaming someone and leaving Ochai open at all times.
And teams do.
I take my chances.
And teams do that.
If he makes it, we live to see another day. If he misses it, congratulations.
Well,
You know-
did you see the Raptors offense in Ochai's first stint today? I don't think we scored a single point for 4 minutes when he was on the court.
Dude, I don't get it, man. He had such a good year last year. I'm not asking him to be as good as he was last year, but at least be somewhat as consistent.
His year last year was fool's gold, and the Raptors should have traded him.
But he was a
But
big piece of why that defense was so good late in the season.
he's okay. Like he provides that rim protection from the wing, which is very important, and he does a pretty good job of locating his guy like in transition, at least compared to guys like Grady and RJ. The difference here is that his role was so stupidly simple last year. Like you take a look at his role versus Grady's role, and it's just like the complete tale of two halves. Grady had the super hard role. Ochai had the super easy role. Everything for Ochai was transition, layups, threes. Nothing involving like getting the ball in the basket, making passes, making.
But he can't even do that now.
Making corner threes.
He can't. Ochai cannot make a corner three. Ochai can barely make a layup. I mean, it's wide open. I probably hold my breath unless he goes up to dunk it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just he's a shell.
But that's the law of diminishing returns. When you can't do the second thing, like once you have a season like he did last year where he shoots 40% whatever from three, now teams sort of figure you out. And granted, he's just having a cold shooting season. I get that happens. Guys regress, and
This is
if you watch Dyson Daniels defensively this year, would you argue he's been a top 10 defender of this league?
No.
So what happened? Dyson is also shooting like I think 12% from three or something like this.
That's the thing, though. But Dyson was never a great 3-point shooter, and not saying Ochai was, but he, like you said, he at least had a 40% season. Some guys regress to the mean a little bit. Like okay, last year 3-point shooting, Scotty Barnes was what did he shoot 29, 30%. That's regression in 3-point shooting, right? He's back up this year. Ochai just absolutely fell off a cliff. Like he got freaking kamikaze. Like that's not a fall off. That is just an absolute death sentence.
Right.
And if he was 60% as good as he was last year, I'd be confident saying we'd have 2 more wins right now. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, you have 4 wings and 1 center. You have 4 backup wings who consistently get minutes: Jacoby, Grady, Jamison Battle, Ochai Agbaji. I think trading one of these guys for an actual center or a third string point guard would do your team wonders. I'm also slowly warming up to Elijah Martin. I know I was not a fan of the pick on draft night because I wanted Maxime Reynaud, but I mean, I've seen stuff in the 905 that's at least encouraging from him. His movement patterns are starting to encourage me as he could actually be a guard, and he is extremely physical, and I do like that. I do like guards who are physical. Now he is 24, but people blossom at different ages. Someone saying he's the best player on the 905. Yeah, I mean, he's been good, and the shot is coming around. So it's been interesting. Apparently, he's getting better every single game. So if his defense can come around, like I think the point of attack stuff is a little bit overrated, and I have just not seen him be able to do a good job of guarding at the perimeter. But I think he fits in and replaces Ochai Agbaji immediately.
100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at either. Why not try it? I just don't like what the return for Ochai is going to be. I would rather dump him for nothing than take back Nick Richards.
Yeah, I cannot stand Nick Richards as a basketball player. I think if I made a list of my 10 most hated basketball players, Nick Richards would take like 3 slots on that team.
I
He's
just
just
don't, I
like
don't
he just represents everything that is wrong with how people think about basketball. Like when the Raptors were allegedly rumored to be looking at him, I presented a very coherent case that the Raptors should not trade for Nick Richards. And everyone's like, but look, 7 feet. But look, what was it? He had 23 points and 13 rebounds in this game. It's like, great. Yeah, man. He's a 7-footer who can grab rebounds and has no idea how to play basketball. Zero. Zilch.
Who else
No
would be
clue.
available in that center spot is my question. Can we find a Mamu Kelishvili again? But this time in trade form. Is there anybody else out there like that? Not saying they are going to even be as close to as good as he's been for us. But can we find somebody who's buried third, fourth string on a roster?
I would take a look at Gershon Yabusele.
I'm not mad at that.
Jalen Smith on Chicago. Although I know he's been having a better year, so he's probably worth a bit more. But
How much does he make? Jalen Smith.
9 mil. And he
Yeah.
has
That's
2
gonna
years
be
on his
tough.
contract.
That would be tough.
Unless you're moving IQ and RJ for cheaper stuff. That'd be very hard to take in, especially since the whole point of trading Ochai is to get under that tax.
Teacher Mike saying Elijah Martin could be Baron Davis 2.0. Oh my God. If that happens, I will literally cry tears of joy, dude. You have no idea how good Baron Davis was and how terrible Elijah Martin is compared to that dude. At the same age as Elijah is right now, B. Diddy was like all-star level, crazy athlete. But unlike Elijah, just an insane processor of the court. If he could be a third of the player that Baron Davis was in his prime, amazing.
Hey, Rob, you had the standings up earlier for the entire, like both conferences.
Yep.
Where were the Raptors at again? At 9?
Yep.
Okay, if we're healthy, if we have a healthy Jakob Poeltl, who's playing, even remotely like he was last season or the last 2 seasons, and our shooting percentage is like league average, like 3-point shooting, are we like not like a top 5 team? Or is that a bit too bold?
I think with Jakob Poeltl, we are on pace for like 56, 57 wins.
Holy shit.
Yeah, to me, it's like small things that would make a massive difference to us being just like a very, very good team. Like,
I think the Raptors are a good team, though. Like, they play consistently pretty good basketball. Like there was a stretch there where they were really bad, but that was largely due to the fact that, their offense just fell into a ditch.
It flowed through Immanuel quickly. I've noticed they've been playing him less at point guard lately. So
yes, and that is exactly what I hypothesized would happen with RJ Barrett back. There's been a lot more Scotty initiated possessions, RJ initiated possessions, Jamal Shed initiated possessions. We're seeing a lot more quickly off the ball, man. And I think Day'Ron Sharpe is still my favorite candidate to be traded to the Raptors. And I understand like the Brooklyn Nets have won a few games recently and they've looked a lot more competitive and he's been playing, but man, like I still think like a solid screen setting, big who can soak up some fouls, get some blocks, make some plays. I think he would be so important to this team. Again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And, one of the things that I was looking up the other day was like, what as it pertains to, I think it's like, is it like a Swedish thing? I think it's a Swedish thing where they say like death cleaning. Have you heard of this? Death cleaning? Is it Swedish death cleaning? Where they say like, get rid of your possessions so that nobody, after you pass away, nobody has to deal with it and whatever. So I was looking into Swedish death cleaning, not for any morbid reason, but just because I wanted to declutter my life. And they were just talking about like this idea of like one person's treasure can be another person's burden, but one person's burden can also be another person's treasure. And sometimes I look at trades like that, where it's like, okay, there could be a person in the wrong situation, but for you, they are like the godsend. And it's like there sometimes is a team out there with an abundance of centers, and we don't have one healthy one right now. You know?
Yeah.
Who is
I'm all
who
for
is that
trade.
team in your mind?
Pardon?
I'm sorry. Wesley, you got it, man. My bad.
No, I was just agreeing with Rob. Like we're talking about Dayron Sharp still, right?
Yeah, like Dayron Sharp, you know, because they got Danny Wolf, right? They got Nick Claxton. Danny's a decent player. They have others too. So I mean, you know, yeah, like there are teams with like 2-3 centers, right? Like the Denver Nuggets technically have 3 centers: Jonas Valanciunas, Deron Holmes, plus Nikola Jokic. Like they got 3. We got 1. We got literally 1 center. We walked into the season with 1 center and 1 point guard, Jamal Shed. So we are basically starting a shooting guard, a small forward, and a small forward. That's our starting lineup tonight. That was our starting lineup.
It's insane.
It really is. Is Robert Williams a realistic get? Speaking of teams with a lot of bigs, they've got Hanson Yang, Donovan Clingan, Robert Williams. I think they've got they've got one more guy too. I'm forgetting his name.
If they're terrible by the deadline, that would be a hell of a get.
Rob Williams?
Yes.
Sure.
His injury history is rough, though. I know we've been talking about how we can recover guys, and that's probably the type of trade we should be making, but damn, that's a tough one to try to recover and make.
I mean, I would give up Ochai in 3 seconds to get Robert Williams.
He makes $12 million.
He makes 12.
I would give Grady plus him and like 2 second rounders.
You would give up Grady plus Ochai for Robert Williams?
Sure.
How much does Jameson Battle make?
Jameson Battle makes $2 million.
Shit,
if I remember correctly.
We're off.
Speaking of teams with lots of centers, and one that constantly gets like, there's always rumors about their guys getting traded to us, but in my opinion, the wrong guys. Like, sure, Gafford or AD would be awesome, but my dream center for us is Lively. I think him in transition.
For the season.
Hey, we're making it work without a center now, and I think next season, if he's healthy, we would be insane. I think he's like the perfect type of transition.
But he's a 7'3" guy who will require an extension this offseason, and you don't know. I would love to think that Derek Lively is going to have a perfectly healthy career from this point on for the next 10 years. I would love to think that. But being 7'3" is a very, very scary proposition when it comes to injuries. There are very few athletes in NBA history who have been 7'3" and have had like any history of good luck with injuries. Like very few. Like you could name them on one hand. In fact, do your best to name 7'3" guys who didn't have injuries as early as their 20s. Significant injuries.
Not a lot.
Exactly. Wilt Chamberlain. Sorry, not Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the only one. Yeah. And he was like 7'2".
It's a crazy different era, though. There's really
it is a different era. But apart from that, like Yao Ming had injuries. Greg Oden was about 7'1". He had injuries, but his injuries were largely due to the fact that one of his legs was longer than the other. Wemby has had some injuries, but granted, like Wemby is a very different type of dude. You know, like he's very flexible, doesn't suffer from a lot of the same issues. Arvydas Sabonis was always injured, tons of injuries. I don't know, man. Like guys who are 7'3" just scare the living shit out of me. Anyone taller than 7'2", it's just, to me, it's just like a physics nightmare from a basketball standpoint. Someone said Michael Olowokandi. Michael Olowokandi sucked, but Michael Olowokandi was not 7'2", my guy. I think he was like 7 foot even.
They're saying, I just got a notification from Bleacher Report. Jake Fisher's reporting that he wouldn't be surprised in the next 24 hours if Anthony Davis is a Hawk.
Damn. So Malter Kenny was right. I don't know what trade you make from that point. Like, are you trade? What is the deal?
I don't know what you're trading, man. I
It
seriously
has to be Porzingis.
Okay, so Porzingis goes
Porzingis
back
back-
to the Mavs
back to the bad.
Yeah.
plus what? Plus picks? Plus that New
Yeah.
Orleans pick?
Yeah.
I don't know if I even like that trade for Atlanta. I'm hanging on to that New Orleans pick for dear life.
Yeah, New Orleans is literally like. Do you realize New Orleans has 8 wins right now, and they went on a 5-game win streak at one point?
I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah. So
I think they feel the pressure though. Now that they made the first move, I honestly think if I was Atlanta, I would have waited on the Trae Young trade. To be honest with you, it's not like you even got decent value for him. Maybe you could have got somewhat of a bidding war with somebody, but
yeah. Oak Tree saying, Rob, is the cat allergy hitting you again? Yes, it is. Am I sniffling?
I haven't.
Yes. Yes, the cat allergy is absolutely hitting me. My eyes are closing up. Yes. So I've been decluttering like crazy. I'm very happy. Every bag that I toss out, I'm happier and happier. I can feel the weight just coming off my shoulders. And so like my goal was to go into Pendant's prep this year just a lot lighter, with a lot more organization and a lot more space. And just like the feeling of like closets that are full of stuff just kind of gives me anxiety. So yeah, but unfortunately the last closet that I had to sort today was full of cat hair, because I was cleaning it out, and there was a bag that had just got a whole bunch of cat hair on the back because the cat's litter is in that bag. And unfortunately I've been sniffling for like 5 hours. So yeah.
someone in chat made a great point.
Dander. Yeah.
Porzingis and Ricochet.
Porzingis and Ricochet. That would be an interesting trade. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, the funny thing is, Kristaps Porzingis has been amazing for them.
It's night and day when he plays and when he doesn't play.
Yeah, completely.
Plus, he's expiring, so Mavs get the flexibility of probably being the only ones to sign him if they want, or moving off the contract.
How many more years is on that AD contract? Do you guys know?
I think it's 2, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I'll check.
Yeah, 2 more after this season. I don't know if there's a player or team option, but
That's not half bad.
Anthony Davis contract. Let's see here. So Anthony Davis has $54 million this year, $58 million next year, and $62.7 million player option at the age of 34. That is crippling.
Wow.
Crippling, dude.
Wow.
$64 million for a guy who could potentially miss that entire season. You don't know. You don't know. Like with this guy's injury history, shit, it could be scary. I'm not gonna lie, it could be very scary.
I honestly don't want to trade for either AD or Simonis, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like I would rather trade for Kyrie. Like that would be my get. If the Hawks end up trading for Anthony Davis, I would trade for Kyrie Irving like the next day.
The only thing that sucks is it's probably RJ going out in that deal instead of IQ.
Would you blame Dallas for preferring that?
No,
But honestly, like think about this. Like last year, the Pelicans preferred Bruce Brown expiring to RJ Barrett.
I think it's just because they wanted free cap space. But at the same time, too, like I feel like RJ is a better player this year than he was last year, and I don't think he was that bad of a player last year. I think out of everybody on this team, other than Scotty and Bi, I think third place RJ Barrett understands his role more than anybody else. I mean, obviously, you got like the Mamus of the world, and guys like that who are like Mamu's just gonna be Mamu. Mamu's great no matter what. We need Mamu to step up. He will. We need him to, not take as many shots. Some nights he will. He's very adaptable, but he's also not RJ Barrett, right? We can acknowledge that at the same time. And I think RJ has completely accepted his role. I don't ever feel like he hijacks the offense. Now, I'm not saying he's the perfect player because he's not. But I'd be very, very sad to see him go over Immanuel Quickley. But I understand why.
largely the reason we cannot pay RJ Barrett right now is because of Immanuel Quickley.
100%.
Kind of interesting.
100%. You're 100% right. And that's what sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel like RJ has such significant deficiencies and that the value of that player archetype is not super high around the league. So I'd still have some trepidations about paying him $30 million. But I still feel like he's earned that $30 million more than Immanuel Quickley did.
I agree
So
with you, and it's hard to not pay him that after IQ got 32.5.
we
And after Jakob
yeah.
got, like, it's
Yeah.
very hard not to.
Yeah, but neither of those guys should have gotten the contracts they did. So now I just feel like we have this conversation at least once a week on this channel where it's like, well, because you paid those guys, now RJ Barrett has all the leverage. But it's just
To be
like,
fair, that's a big topic, man. It's not like we're sitting here recycling old stuff. Like, it's an unfortunate reality, you know? I mean, we're not. I don't feel like we're
it's
kicking.
it's like a dark cloud that hangs over this entire season. Would you agree or disagree?
I would
Like the Raptors are doing
100%.
such amazing stuff. Like there is a vibrant young core. Your rookie is doing well. Your star player is doing well. The star
getting
player you
wins.
traded for is actually like been healthy, and you're getting wins. And the East is pretty open. And there's two teams in the Eastern Conference that are significantly better than you. And I don't think that it's out of the question that you could beat either one of those teams in a round. And all of that being said, like this is the type of season that should be full of a ton of optimism. And in certain pockets of Raptor fandom, it is. But for most Raptor fans, there is this like claustrophobic feeling of like, uh-oh, this is not sustainable because Immanuel Quickley and Jakob Poeltl are on the books for
I
next
share
year.
that. I share that completely, and I don't think they expect Mamu to be as good as he is. Yeah, that's another thing that sucks too. I would do unspeakable things to get off of Quickley's contract. Unspeakable. Like I would this year's first unprotected at a pick swap next year in 2027. Like
Would you trade him right now straight up for CJ McCollum?
Yes.
100%. I would trade him straight up for Terry Rozier right now.
Yeah.
Just to get off that contract. Like no disrespect to him as a player, he's just not worth that contract.
Right.
Like if he's making $22 million right now, he's amazing. He's great. I love him for 22. I love him for 20. I might even love him for 24. I don't love him for 32.5.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, an hour ago he just hit a game winner.
I know.
He did.
It's
he did.
crazy.
Which
I
is
feel
good.
guilty about
Earning
it.
that contract. Let's plaster that. Let's plaster that Immanuel Quickley positivity all over social media and hopefully, start a hashtag vote Immanuel Quickley All-Star. I'm going to start actually voting him for All-Star on my ballot. I realized that, I often vote Concanipple and OG Anunoby and shit. I'm going to start voting Immanuel Quickley All-Star because I want to see him get up on the votes so that teams will register him as like an all-star caliber player and maybe give up more than CJ McCollum to get him. Yeah, so we need to start some positive IQ propaganda for sure. I need to stop dissecting his terrible plays, man. I need to just stop doing that because it's repetitive at this point. Immanuel Quickley misses a layup. Immanuel Quickley gets blocked at the rim. Immanuel Quickley takes a stupid shot that he shouldn't have. Immanuel Quickley miscommunicates something defensively. It's just like every single fucking game. It's the same damn thing. So next game, when is the Raptors' next game? Is it tomorrow?
Friday.
No, Friday. So whatever their next game is, Friday, January 9th or January
Derek White
8th.
BTA game.
Is it against Celtics?
Yes, it is. Derek BTA incoming.
Fuck.
Losing Payne Pritchard on screens 10 times. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
It's okay. We're gonna hone in on like Immanuel Quickley successfully dribbles the basketball up the court, does not turn the ball over.
And like man,
Scotty dominates ESPNNeedsIKD.
I feel like a piece of shit, man, because like I'm criticizing the guy because he's making as much money as he is, and because there's no need for him to be making as much money as he is with Scotty Barnes on your team at the same time.
Exactly.
Like, if he was like I said, if he was an 18 to 22, maybe a $24 million player, I'd have no beef with it. That's the
exactly. But it would be like if Colin Sexton, who has been, a revelation this year off the bench for the Charlotte Hornets, if he was making $35 million or $32 million a year, I'm pretty sure everyone in Charlotte would be like, fuck this guy. Right. So unfortunately, fan sentiment is very often tied to how much money you make. Like Bradley Beal, perfectly fine basketball player at $12 million. At $40 million, though, albatross.
And it's not wrong. And I'm not pocket watching. I'm not hitting on the money he's making. Great, get it if you can. You know what I mean? But at
this
the
is
same
how
time,
sports is set up. Sports is set up this way because owners who give out these terrible contracts, general managers who give out these terrible contracts, unfortunately, because of league rules, especially with the NBA, unlike MLB, where there's a set cap to how much you can. I don't think, like, I'm not a big baseball fan, but like, I'm assuming that Shohei Ohtani's contract doesn't come up very often. Does it?
well, it's because he's on a deferred contract.
Okay. Like, if the Dodgers had lost,
But no, it would never come.
do you think the prevailing thought would be like, oh my God, we're paying Shohei Ohtani so much? And
I mean, like when LeBron and the Cavs lost in the finals, did people ever bitch about his contract? I think it's kind of like the same deal.
well, LeBron was clearly worth whatever contract. In fact,
It's
I
gonna
would
be-
argue there is not a single year of LeBron's career until this year that he's been fairly paid.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a single
it's
year.
the same. It's the same for Shohei, but baseball salary cap rules are freaking insane. Like, imagine if you could do this in basketball. So Shohei Ohtani for the next 10 years is on a $2 million contract, and then for the next 10 years after that, he's on a $68 million contract a year. But he won't be on the team then because the contract only goes for the next 9 years at this point. So after he's not on the team, they're going to be paying him $68 million a year because they deferred that money right now to go get other guys. So when he's no longer there, he will be making $68 million a year on their cap sheet. Could you imagine if you could do that for basketball? Like, if we were like, hey, Scotty Barnes, take $5 million a year, but in 5 years from now, from the years 2031 to 2036, we'll give you $40 million a year. Crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize. So there is a salary cap in baseball?
There's not. There's no salary cap. There's no salary floor.
That's what I thought. So what's the point of stretching it?
They're stretching it so it makes more sense for right now. And I mean, they have almost an over $1 billion roster. So like it would just be more expensive. So I guess they're assuming in 9 years from now they won't have $1 billion roster where it's a little bit easier to stomach that extra $68 million a year.
Well, the time value of money would suggest that you're going to make money off of Shohei's back right now.
Yeah.
Invest that money positively forward and probably pay him back just with interest alone.
Exactly.
So
I mean, he's
basically playing for free right now.
His Japanese market alone is going to pay that contract. Like, screw him. Like, the Japanese market is going to pay that and then some. So, but yeah, if basketball is like that too, oh my God, we would never see basketball again. That CBA would go on for 10 straight years.
Yeah, but I mean, in a sense, like I know it's not the same thing, but the Milwaukee Bucks are currently paying Damian Lillard to not play basketball for their team. And the Phoenix Suns are paying Bradley Beal to not play basketball for their team. So that might become a common trend. And I really hope that the Raptors don't have to go that way with Immanuel Quickley. Because honestly, there were points in today's game, where he hit the game winner, but prior to him hitting the game winner, where I was about to write a caption, just wave him. Like, just wave this dude. Like, shit. It is bad.
You know what's crazy? Look, he would leave and become like Knicks Immanuel Quickley again.
Yeah, because someone would put him on the bench.
I hate the politics of the NBA, man. He'd be the perfect sixth man right now.
Yeah, he definitely would. Anyways, man, any final thoughts from either one of you?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I appreciate the conversation. And I'm sorry I cut you off a few times, so that's my bad, man.
No, you're good.
No worries, man. All good. WYSO, is it YSO or WYSO?
Yeah, it's YSO. I've wanted to correct you a bunch of times, but I was like, I don't care, whatever.
It's like I'm giving you so much respect by spelling out your name. It would be like if you called me PEN every day. Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Yep,
See you guys.
See you guys. Have a great night.
All right, man. Big win for the Raptors. Huge fourth quarter for RJ Barrett. Huge game winner for Immanuel Quickley. Could this be the turnaround that this team needed? Feels good, man. It feels good. And you got to feel like Immanuel Quickley's been playing a little bit tight. He has had some very, very cold shooting performances. He has taken a lot of shit from people like me, but also from a lot of Raptor fans. So it's got to feel good to get one in the bag where you're the hero and you can feel good. And I feel like Immanuel Quickley, this is me psychoanalyzing a person I've never really spoken to, but he seems like a positive dude. You know, he seems like a good guy, seems like a good teammate. always, wanting to breathe positive energy to people. His basketball intelligence is very questionable. His lack of, creation and all that stuff can be debated until we're blue in the face and probably for another 2 hours. But one thing, that you always get from him is that he is a positive person, and hopefully a positive outcome like hitting this shot can be something that sort of settles down the ego a little bit, settles down the fear, settles down the anxiety, settles down the pressure of living up to the contract. I feel like we often talk as fans about like what that contract means to the team, but I think players themselves feel a professional pride to go out and earn that money as well. I think like the good ones do, not the Chandler Parsons of the world, not the Gilbert Arenases of the world, but like guys who typically like sign that contract with an expectation that they're about to take a jump in their game. And from everything I heard about RJ Barrett and Immanuel Quickley, they both had incredible summers this year. So it was nice to see them doing that. Uh, did I warn you last time to stop bringing up Israel? Were you the same guy, Mark Stratum? Did you also? Penn don't even start with that garbage. To be fair, Bradley Beal is better than Dame, in my opinion. You should start a blog. You definitely should start a blog. And did you also have a comment earlier? I think I was reading it and said, like, take off your hat now. Okay. Why are you just randomly saying Israel? Did Denny Abdia do something? Anyways, very weird. But hey, man, not going to rain on our parade. Two of these were out of context. So they look bad. What is the context? What is the context of Israel? Is anyone else talking about Israel? Like, I'm reading the context. Quickley is Israel the way he bombs threes. Oh, okay, cool. So, here's the thing. Okay. All right, man. Sorry to do this to you, but peace out. Adios, Mark. Nice knowing you. Nice when you've been here for a long time. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. I'm not tolerate any Israel, Palestine. I'm not going to tolerate any anti-Semitism on this. Just don't do. Like, let me lay out some ground rules for the 408 people watching. If I see you say something racist, sexist, homophobic, Islamophobic, if I see you say something xenophobic, if I hear you say something, just keep it out of this chat. This is a sports forum. We can have conversations. But if you say, oh, well, he massacred him, like blah, 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 blah. Like, if I have to even, like, if I can't say it out loud without feeling uncomfortable, you can go fuck yourself. Like, you're out. So, yeah. And please spare me the, oh my God, it's a free country. Yes, it is a free country. That's why you can say what you want in your living room. Okay. But the very fact that it is a free country means that I can ban your ass from our chat because you're making things uncomfortable for other people. And, again, like sometimes women will reach out to me, in the chat, especially when someone is obviously a woman, like their name is Sarah or something. And some creepy ass guy will just be like, what do you know about basketball? You're a woman. Yeah, you get banned too because you're making things uncomfortable for people and uninviting, right? I do a good enough job at that myself. I don't need you doing it too. You know what I mean? Anyways. ATL making moves on AD quick. What's Bobby's plan? Bobby's plan is to bring back Mo Bamba for another 10-day contract. We will see. We'll see what happens there. Look, man, honestly, sometimes you're going to make a move, and I know people can be very drastically impatient, and you're thinking, well, we got to go trade for Anthony Davis. And look, like, I understand the concept of Anthony Davis. I myself have argued that Anthony Davis is one of the, maybe 40 best players of all time. I think he is extremely underrated, but he is so past his prime right now. So past his prime. Would he immediately come in and just, elevate you into possibly a conference finalist? Yes. But do you have the right pieces to win a championship with Anthony Davis over the next 2 years? The question that the Dallas Mavericks should have answered before trading for Anthony Davis is the same question you should ask yourselves right now. And if the answer is yes, if you truly believe that Scotty Barnes plus Brandon Ingram plus Anthony Davis leads to a championship, and you believe that you can keep him healthy, and you believe that you can load manage him and treat him the way Kawhi Leonard did, well, the price is very low. The price is very, very low. And if all it took was Immanuel, Quickley, and Jakob Poeltl, then you'd have to at least explore it. You'd be stupid not to. Araf Haroon said trade packages for AD and Domas. I think every trade package for those guys includes Jakob Poeltl and one of Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett and one of Ochai Agbaji and Grady Dick. Like, it's mix and match. Those are your pieces. I very much doubt that you're going to have Domas plus Jakob Poeltl on the court. Like, that would be a spacing nightmare. I don't know what the hell you would be doing that for. Barnes and Scotty said, I think Grady gets it done. Dude, honestly, I don't think Grady has the kind of positive value that some people think he does. Is that really beating the Spurs? Huh? Is what beating the Spurs? The Spurs offer? Portland is beating Houston right now. That is very interesting. We've had some pretty low-scoring games in the NBA today. Scoring is coming down a little bit. I've seen a lot of teams barely clip 100. Granted, tonight, Jamal Murray led Denver past Boston. It's very interesting, but New Orleans cracked just 100. Boston got up to 110. Shout outs to them, but Chicago was held to 93. The Raptors and Charlotte Hornets were held below 100. Milwaukee currently is at 85. Granted, they will probably clip 100, but some very interesting situations. Brooklyn and Orlando went 103, 104 and took overtime. So they were under 100 in regulation. Again, we were looking a couple of weeks ago and it was like every single team was over 100. So it's very interesting. Grady is younger than Corey. Yeah, but he's worse than Corey Kispert right now, which is sad to say, but also true. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you to the 390 of you who have tuned in. Big win for the Raptors here. Big win for RJ Barrett. No RJ slander tonight at all, regardless of how he played in the first half. Like, honestly, coming up huge in the second half with your team down 8, desperately needing you on the road, huge. Hitting a free throw down the stretch, also huge. So good for him. Please give this video a like. And I'll catch y'all on the other side of this. Okay, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Does that mean? Okay, I will catch y'all on the panel tomorrow at 11 a.m. Definitely tune in. Player's Choice on the panel. I'm sure we will have a ton of insights on the games that we watched tonight, but also on the Trae Young trade, which I'm sure will dominate at least an hour and a half of the panel tomorrow. All right, peace.